Okay, I'm making this video today to sort of help clear up a lot of the, how we want to say, myths or misconceptions of cholesterol. Now, first of all, why should you listen to me? Number one, you don't have to, okay? But I'm going to give you a little bit of a background. When I was a very young person, matter of fact, I was 19 years old, a medical physician had told me, Mark, there's a good chance that before you reach the age of 30, you'll experience a heart attack or die. Well, interestingly enough, my father, at age 37, died of basically cardiovascular disease. My two younger brothers here, Aaron and Timothy, both died of cardiovascular disease in their 30s. So why I'm here today is because I'm in my 50s and I haven't died. I'm not on any medication, I've never had a heart attack, I don't have any cardiovascular risks, I'm all good. Okay, so with this type of genetics, I'm going to teach you the secrets that I've learned that have helped me maintain my health. So really quickly, we're going to talk about HDL, LDL, and the differences between the two really quickly so you can get an idea of what we're talking about. First of all, HDL is not cholesterol. Okay, HDL is a lipid protein. Okay, so lipid proteins actually transport or move the cholesterol. Okay, so in essence, the HDL is the part that actually recycles. Okay, so it takes the cholesterol from where it is, moves it back to the liver, and then recycles it. Now, interesting, if cholesterol was so bad, why would our liver recycle it? Interesting, huh? The other part that's interesting is your body will manufacture 2,000 milligrams of cholesterol every day, whether you eat any or not. So the average American, 3/4 of the cholesterol made is made actually by their own body. So it's not a problem. So what I want you to understand is where the problem really is with this. Number one, HDL protein, or HDL cholesterol, is the one that people think is a good cholesterol, which actually they both have a very specific job. The problem is the LDL cholesterol should be more type A, which is the larger molecules. Okay, the larger type fluffy molecules, they won't get stuck down here. But when you add sugar into the diet in any form, whether it's potatoes, pasta, rice, any type of form which converts to sugar is sugar. So the LDL type B, okay, this is what you got to understand, sugar makes LDL convert from A to the B. So understand that. You didn't do anything wrong, okay? That's just the natural body's reaction to sugar to protect itself, okay? So the LDL converts. The inflammation just makes it converts. There's nothing you can do about it. So if you look at this line down here, I got an artery down here, and I got the little teeny BB-like ones down in there, and I got the large buoyant ones, which are the types A right here. Now the type A are not going to stick and they're not going to cause problems. They're not going to cause blockages or buildup. The type B, on the other hand, are going to cause all of these problems. So again, cholesterol as a whole is a good thing. We need it. Almost every cell in the human body can make cholesterol if it has to. Why would it be able to do that if it was such a bad thing? Your brain is over 60% cholesterol. All of your hormones are made on the cholesterol molecule, so you have to have cholesterol. I mean, it's such a life-giving thing. So why I want to make this video today is explain to you that we need to get rid of something, okay, in your diet, sugar, okay, primarily, because your cholesterol needs to be there. Your cholesterol, especially as we age, we need more of it because it's, helps us age slower, helps us retain our memory, we don't get Alzheimer's, that kind of stuff. So, but I'm going to go and I'm going to shift to a little bit of experiment. I'm going to sort of show you what happens to the LDL cholesterol. So I've got this little demonstration here, and I'm gonna move the camera up so you guys can see it. So hang on a second. Okay, we're going to pretend that this is your LDL cholesterol. Okay, so here it is. Your LDL's down there, and what its job is to do is to patch this artery. Okay, so it's going to make like a little scab over it, and it's going to patch the artery. Okay, now the LDL is patching the artery. The HDL comes by and takes off the leftover, And if you notice, when you lift up the leftover is soft and pliable and it just sort of drips, right? And then it takes it back, recycles it, and lays it down again, okay? So here we are, we're getting that all covered up, and it's down there and it's laying there. And then it comes by, you know, the LDL does its job, picks it up, and you notice it's still very pliable. See how liquid and wet that is? Takes it back and it's recycled again to help repair. So it goes out again, covers up that thing. It's like a scab, so like if you go out and scrape your arm, you'll form a scab. You notice how smooth that is. It's laying down crystal clear smooth. It covers really smooth. You notice how it wants to lay down into all the crevices, and it really does the job, right? Well, then sugar comes along. Oops, sorry about sugar dropped my cap there. Here we go, sugar comes along, and it actually causes a really big problem because the body doesn't know what to do with it. So what ends up happening is this inflammation changes the structure. So it's trying to lay down flat. And you notice how it's not laying down flat anymore, okay? See, there's all these ridges and stuff, and these are bumping up, okay? But LDL comes back in there again, does it again. You notice this time it's not as soupy. So it lays it back down again. But remember, it's still very rigid when it lays it down. It's not laying it down smooth anymore. So it's still protecting, it's still enhancing, it's still trying to help that artery repair, but it's not going to do it as good. So here we go again, up again, and there it goes, and down again. All right? And so the problem here is the LDL has now been corrupted. If you notice how this is looking, it's looking absolutely horrible. So why I'm showing you this is because the more sugar you eat, the worse this gets, the more pronounced it gets, the deeper those layers get, okay? Now, after time, see this is still coming back up again, but when you lay it down, it doesn't lay down smooth anymore, it's all choppy. So let me show you what happens after a few more years of really serious sugar consumption. So what's going to happen is we end up getting to this. You notice how this is all ridged, it's all cracked, it's hardened, it doesn't want to move, it's not supple anymore. And this is what happens when sugar corrupts the LDL cholesterol, because the LDL has to change. The inflammation creates this change. So again, you didn't do anything wrong, you just created this change. Now the reason why I showed you this is the only way I have of helping you understand how this sugar corrupts this. And if you notice when you're laying this down, it isn't smooth, it isn't soft, it isn't supple, it can't get way down into the veins and arteries and repair them like it's supposed to. It's really not doing a very good job at all. You notice how it won't patch really well. And this is what's happening over years and years and years of sugar damage. And that's why, we see these problems, 10, 15, 20 years after a really high carbohydrate diet, you're going to definitely experience some major problems. Okay, so the reason why I showed you this today is because I really want you to understand that, you get a lot of people say, well, my cholesterol's this and, this and that. Well, I'm just here to tell you, if there's anybody who's got to worry about cholesterol, it was definitely me with my genetics. Now, I made this video today to really help you understand that HDL cholesterol and LDL cholesterol are actually lipoproteins, okay? They're the protein transporters that take the cholesterol and lay it down, and then one recycles it back to the liver to be processed again. The only thing that disrupts this whole setup is when your LDL has to combat the inflammation. When it does that, these molecules shrink. The LDL shrinks, and that's what causes all of this corruption, which I just showed you here, this massive corruption. This stuff lays down on the wall to clean that up and to repair it, and then it can't be lifted back out. It stays in there. It's stuck in there. Now the worst problem is it also picks up particles. One of the largest particles it picks up is calcium. So you hear people having this huge arterial blockage, and it's like a stone. It's like rock hard. Well, that's because the corrupted LDL has picked up that calcium deposits. And your bones are made out of calcium, so they're rock hard, right? So these calcium deposits calcify inside, which causes calcification. So calcification, artery blockages, all these things that we're dealing with, they're all one thing. They're all sugar, okay? So understand, when I say sugar, today what you have to realize is we've always had this problem with LDL conversion all through history. The only problem is today we drink a whole lot of extra sugar. We drink sodas. We drink diet sodas, which actually corrupt it in the same way, actually a little bit worse. And then we also drink a lot of stuff in the marketplace like fruit juices, which are got tons of sugar, all this stuff. So we're drinking, the average American drinks about 700 to 800 calories of sugar in their drinks per day. So this is a huge, huge problem. Now, the other huge problem that I need to talk about is never eat fat, saturated animal fat, and sugar together. Those two things never should be eaten together. This really amplifies this situation. So if you're eating a lot of carbohydrates with your, your animal fats, okay, because a lot of people do that. They'll have like a soda with a fatty burger or something like that. Or, there's just a lot of foods today that have a lot of saturated animal fat in them, which would not be nearly as bad for you if you weren't consuming this sugar with it. Because remember, saturated animal fat doesn't cause this problem. Matter of fact, saturated animal fat is the only way to get your HDL to go up. So, egg yolks, you want to have egg yolks for that, you want to have fish for that, you want to have all these good saturated fats like cheese and all those things that really help get these levels up, because your HDL needs to be up really, really high. Okay? So again, saturated animal fat is your friend. Just don't consume it with sugar. Try to keep sugar out of the equation as best as possible. The average American can consume probably between 40 and 70 carbs a day is a pretty safe range. 100 if you're messing around. Okay, so those are the windows to sort of stay in, somewhere between. I like to stay around 40. I have my splurge days when I'm up there around 100. Some days I go even over. Just depends on how much I want to splurge. But averagely, I don't consume more than 40 to 70 carbs a day on an average day. So again, hopefully this has been helpful. Remember, sugar is the culprit. Sugar creates the inflammation, and sugar comes in potatoes, pasta, rice, all these other forms. People don't understand. That's sugar, guys. It doesn't taste sweet, but it's sugar, and it's going to corrupt your LDLs. Hopefully this has been very helpful. Please feel free to, I've got my phone number in here if you need to call me if you have any questions about that. But it's really simple, guys. Just clean the sugar out of your diet, and it's amazing how much healthier you'll become. Even your doctor will be happy with the results, okay? So you guys have a wonderful evening.